am a nursing home administrator and a very proud employee of Community Healthcare System. This is my 6th year at the Perennial Ball. Last year, I sat where you sit, and I can recall listening to Dr. Mohammed Kassar speak. And I thought to myself, so compassionate, so caring, I really hope I get the opportunity to meet Dr. Kassar at the ball. And last year, although I did not get that chance to meet him at the ball, I was a patient in his office 10 weeks later. Because you see, last year at this event, I had cancer. I just didn't know it yet. This past summer was very memorable for me. I married the man of my dreams. I sent my oldest daughter off to Butler University as a freshman, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer on June 30th, which I found myself on a self-exam 6 months after a normal mammogram. Those first few days and weeks after a diagnosis like that are a bit of a blur. There are tests, scans, labs, more tests, pathology, genetic testing, and while my beautiful community healthcare system and brilliant doctors were figuring out my treatment plan, I am someone who very much likes to be in control. So I had to do something. And then my role, it just hit me. Cancer is my enemy. What does it want? It wants me to be sad, angry, fearful, play that dreaded why me game, because that will weaken both my spirit and my immune system, making it easier for my cancer to spread. So I vowed that I was going to do this journey my way, that I was going to do my best to push aside those negative emotions that so naturally accompany a diagnosis of cancer away. And it was with that spirit that I began to tell the people close to me about my diagnosis. I remember how I told my Hartsfield Village work family I threw a pink party. I had balloons, I had cupcakes, I had streamers, I even had favors. And although initially the news was met with some tears, by the end of that meeting, there were hugs and high fives. When I told my daughters, and that was the hardest, because as a child, all they hear is my mom has cancer, but very quickly their fear settled and their strength surfaced. And I sure hope I've taught my girls that if and when life should knock you down hard, you've got 3 choices. Most people think you have 2, stay down or get up. I think you have 3. You can stay down, you can get up angry, or you can just get up. Get up, find your calm, find your faith. Best case scenario, hang on to your joy. So in that first conversation I had with my girls, that's what I challenged them to do. I said, find mom a silver lining, go. My oldest daughter, who's here tonight, smiles. She says, Mom, I have a fun fact. We were just learning about cancer and chemotherapy in school, and Mom, you know how much you hate mosquitoes? Your blood is going to be so toxic from that chemotherapy, Mom. Mosquitoes, they just know not to come near you, and if they try to bite you, they're going to die. And I said, yes, this is what I'm talking about, girl. Then my middle daughter gets a glimmer. I can tell she's got something really good for Mom. But in order for me to share with you her silver lining, I have to disclose a family secret. So, what happens at Perennial Ball stays at Perennial Ball. Okay. 3 years ago, my middle daughter, she brought home lice. I had never had it. She kept itching her head. I kept buying moisturizing shampoos. By the time I figured out what was going on with the help of my dear friend and nurse practitioner, Jolene Gillardin, the whole house had lice, all 3 of my girls and myself. So, my middle daughter says, Mom, chemotherapy, are you gonna lose all your hair? Because I could bring home lice again, Mom, and you won't get it. The whole school could have it, the whole town could have it, not you, Mom. And I say, yes, kid. You see, cancer is powerful, but so are people. And when you get a diagnosis like this, your people, they go on the journey with you. Your children, your spouse, your parents, your friends, your coworkers, your boss, and thank goodness they do because you need them. They become your rocks of support. And I have way too many rocks to thank them all, but a couple that are here tonight, my husband, Chad Corley, I had to tell him 8 weeks before our wedding that I had breast cancer. We got married as planned September 1st. I got my port September 4th and started chemotherapy September 5th. He is the epitome of unconditional love. And then my very best friend, Larissa Rudloff, my best friend for more than 30 years, was diagnosed with leukemia in 2015. She crushed it and is doing fantastic today. And finally, my dad and my mom, my strong dad, who's helped me in any way he can, and my mom. You know, she was the first person I told, and I think that's interesting. At any age, when you have news, what do? You just call mom. So I call mom, and mom has been with me through it all. She has been my literal caregiver in the hardest hours, and she's my angel that walks the earth. And and then something amazing happens. New rocks form to carry the patient through the journey. And I can honestly say that my new rocks have been my medical team, who I also want to acknowledge here this evening. First is Dr. Howard Marcus, who's been my gynecologist for over 20 years, delivered my girls. And on every single annual exam, reminded me to do those self-exams. And I'm not gonna cry. Thank you, Dr. Marcus. Then we have Dr. Mary Nicholson, radiologist, who delivered the news of my MRI. Initially, I thought I had 1 tumor. Turned out to be 3, which changed my treatment plan. And she delivered that news with complete grace and compassion and really helped me set the tone for my journey. Then we have Dr. Shabil Nabib, who performed my bilateral mastectomy. He removed my cancer, and after that surgery, I can remember thinking to myself, my cancer is never coming back because it does not want to meet up with Dr. Shabib in the OR again. It will lose every time. Then, the role of plastic surgery, Dr. David Robinson took the broken woman and procedure by procedure so beautifully put her back together. And then finally, Dr. Mohammed Kassar and all the physicians and staff at Northwest Oncology. Dr. Kassar is the captain of my life ship. He is every bit as compassionate and remarkable as his speech last year portrayed. And I am eternally grateful for the holistic care that I am receiving at Northwest Oncology, and a shout out to the 2 nurse practitioners who take such good care of me, Rebecca Vega and Amy Berry. Thank you for returning my 9 o'clock at night text messages. Now finally, I want to spend just 1 minute talking about the research because it is real, it is compelling, and it is happening in our backyard. My prognosis 15 years ago would have been very different. I have invasive ductal carcinoma with an aggressive component called HER2. After my bilateral mastectomy, I needed some heavy-duty chemotherapy, and one of the drugs that I am still getting today is called Herceptin. Our own Community Cancer Research Foundation was part of the clinical trial for Herceptin in the calendar years of 2000 to 2005 with 8 brave women. That is the drug that is in my body right now as I speak to you, shielding my cells from my cancer coming back. So were you here in the years of 2000 to 2005 supporting the Research Foundation who had the clinical trial for Herceptin, which fast forward 14 years is saving my life? Because if you were, I thank you. And it's exciting to think about who tonight, all of us together, might be helping tomorrow. Now, I want to talk lastly about you. So many people in the room that have given countless hours, some of you have devoted careers to helping people like me who have cancer. Maybe you are the primary care physician that makes sure that your patients get their annual recommended screenings. Maybe you are an oncologist, a radiologist, a pathologist, a nurse, a nurse practitioner, a yoga instructor, a support group facilitator, a volunteer, a fundraising event coordinator. All of you together help people like me, not just to survive, but to thrive, and to one day say, cancer? Been there, beat that. And then lastly, truly, to everyone here in the room, my sincere and heartfelt thanks, and let me tell you why. I want you, for just one moment, to picture someone you really love. Maybe it's your spouse that you're sitting next to, maybe it's a child, a grandchild. Now, for one terrifying moment, pretend that they just got a diagnosis of cancer. You will jump to the end of the earth to help them, because helping someone you love, that comes natural. What doesn't come as natural is what all of you here are doing tonight. And that is, in essence, helping a stranger like me. And that, in my book, is one of the most selfless acts of kindness. So for your presence, for your donation, for your sponsorship, thank you. After you have a fabulous evening tonight, when you go home and when you lay your head down on your pillow, I want you to remember that you are honestly making such a difference. And for my last thought, if you're so comfortable doing, I would love to see anyone else in the room like me who has cancer, who's undergoing treatment for cancer. Maybe you beat cancer. Do you mind standing? Cancer is strong, but together, without question, we are stronger. Thank you, everyone.